The challenges we are facing in Nigeria is a man-made disaster. It's a failure of leadership. From the federal government to state government to local government. It's a combination of conspiracy of leadership that led us to where we are today. Virtually every sector of the economy have collapsed, even though they inherited a collapsed system. But they apply for the job from the same party. And there was no creativity in terms of rejiggling the economy, rejiggling the policy and creating deterrence. They are aware that the country have been looted out before taking over. We never had it in the history of Nigeria, the profiteering and racketeering of the Central Bank of Nigeria, NNPC, the biggest cartel ever in the history of Nigeria recorded, that grounded the economy. CBN have no power to hijack public individuals' account. The change of the currency, the redesign of the currency, crippled the economy of Nigeria to its knees, up to the community level. People cannot bring out their chicken to sell it, nobody to buy it. People lost their memory. What happened? What was the foundation of where we are today? Those that specialize in farming are no longer farming. Under two circumstances. One, the insecurity scared them from going to their farms. Two, the cost of fertilizer is beyond their purchasing power. Now, how do you compare the two? You remove subsidy on petroleum. You do not put subsidy on fertilizer that produces food for the entire country. Not too long ago, this same country feeds almost the entire West African coast. When Maiduguri was in peace, you will see hundreds of trailers supplying food to West African coast. From Benin, all the borders, Ogun, Benin Republic, and what have you. Hundreds of trailers taking food to West African coast. We have a population of over 250 million, which is a plus for any nation. But when you cannot feed the population turns against the country. You have graduates, their parents sold their property to send them to school. You did not provide any hope for them, no job for them. The private sector is dead, people are running out. Is it not a man-made disaster? It's a man-made disaster. It's a policy, it's a failed policy issue that have no human face. Less than 1% of 1% of Nigerians are looting and milking the country out, and they are known. Some of us that have worked with government, we know clearly it is practically impossible for someone to steal 1 naira in government establishments without the connivance of the financial sector of that particular ministry or agency or parastatal. It's not possible. It's 0% possibility. Everything is traceable. Because the structure of the system of government, there's no warehouse where free money is being kept for anybody to pick. Now, the entire health sector is dead. Our best medical personnel have left the country. Yesterday, somebody came from Kefi. He was telling me Federal Medical Center in Kefi. They have no doctors right now. They have all booted out of the country. Go and check the statistics. The doctors that left Lagos, the welfare of the security agencies that are dying for the country, to save the country. They don't have gadget to operate. They don't have tracking system. People will be kidnapped randomly as if we are just a banana republic. There's no rules and regulations. And yet some of these security agencies are the best in the world. So our problems are entirely a man-made disaster problem. So it's easy to fix it because it's a man-made issue. It's not a natural disaster. What the leadership needs to understand is to go back and have a very fundamental retreat. Having meeting with the governors, making proposals will not solve the problem, because they are part of the problem. The government injected billions of palliative into the states. You should go and find out how many people benefited from that palliative. Some of them 1 measure of rice. The most privileged ones are the ones that got one bag of rice, who are close to the government. How many billions was spent? If they spend that 2 billion they gave to states, if they spend it in training plumbers in Nigeria, in training electricians in Nigeria, in training people in fashion industries and buying sewing machine and designing machine, in training nurses, in training welders, do you know how many millions will take off the streets? How many millions? Our budget have never been people-oriented budget. It's an elitist-based budget. It's a conduit of taking the whole funds after being budgeted and approved. It has nothing to do with the ordinary people. And that's why you cannot find government, even in the states where you have a government. You hardly find a government. You see lawlessness. You can't find government in local government. You can't find government in communities. Even a councillor that was elected as a councillor feel too important to pick a call for his own community. Not to talk of a local government chairman, to pick a call about ordinary people who can give him unfiltered, undiluted intelligence. Not talk of a commissioner, and above all a governor to pick a call of somebody from the village to give him undiluted information so that he can nip it before it gets out of hand. There is no way you can divorce governors from this massive level of poverty, insecurity in Nigeria. It's not possible. They are integral part of it. They are completely integral part of it. So it's a multifaceted situation that we are in, and they require collectiveness from both the executive, the legislative, the judiciary, the traditional rulers, the religious scholars, the journalists, the worst of all, the politicians, to admit that they created this anarchy. It's the political class that created this anarchy that we are in today.
So invariably in Nigeria,
if the current armed forces, security, other paramilitary establishment that we have cannot contain the genesis of this crisis that have escalated, the Boko Haram that was isolated, which are metamorphosized into different facets of non-state actors challenging the state of Nigeria. Look at the quantum of money that was budgeted for hardware and software for our military and paramilitary institutions. What are the implementation stages? Now, at the stage that we are, I don't know any state where there was no deployment of military. So the military is overstretched. And then the Nigerian police force has been decimated for a very long time.